Hi everyone. Hi. Thank you so much for the kind messages you all left me. Thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you all liked it. And so I wanted to answer some of your questions because I'm trying to answer as much as I can, but it's too much. So I wanted to make a video and answer all your questions about my process my to Canada, in coming to Canada, the questions that I was asked at the airport. That's like the number one question every one of you is asking. So yeah, I'll be talking about all that and tell you how my experience was when coming here. So feel free to ask me any question. If I'm able to answer, I'll let you know. If I'm not able to answer, I'll just let you know as well. So yeah, you can actually DM me on Instagram at Just Kiki, or TikTok Just Kiki, or just here, anywhere you prefer. First question was what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to visit. When I applied my visa, I was coming to visit. So you just say you're coming to visit. And don't overshare all so much information, because the questions they ask you depends on how you answer. Like the previous one, if you answer something and you overshare, it will lead to another question, a different question. So but if you're straightforward, they'll just ask you the basic questions. So yeah, they ask you, what are you going to do? Just say what you're going to do. If you're going for a conference, just say, I'm going for a conference. If you're going to visit, say you're going to visit. If you're going to study, just say, I'm going to study. And every answer you give will determine the next question. So for me, I was going for a visit visa, and I will be talking about visit visa with an invitation. When someone is inviting you, visit visa is like tourist visa, right? Yeah. So I was asked, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to visit. And then they said, how long are you planning to stay? I said, I will be there till November, because I came here in May. May, so I said November. That is 5 months. So at least you have 6 months. For Canada visa, you can stay up to 6 months, but not more than 6 months. So mine is November. I had to take all the time given to enjoy Canada. And so I said November, which I can prove by showing them my return ticket, which was saying November. You see? So I'm giving the right information. So you say how long you're going to stay, and it should match with your return ticket. Then the third question was, show us your return ticket. I didn't print out all the documents, which was wrong. I should have printed my document. I printed a few actually. I had printed my invitation letter and my invitation letter only, and my flight details for that day for coming. So I had forgotten to print the passport, copy of the person inviting me, and my return ticket. So, but good thing you can show them electronically. I used Lufthansa airline, which I don't know, maybe airlines are different, but for me, I'm talking about Lufthansa airline. So after showing them my return ticket, they asked me to show them the passport copy of the person inviting me. And I had to show them on the phone, and then they take a picture of it. If they ask you for a document to show them, they take a picture of it. This is at the security before you go to check-in. Then another thing that's very important, and they stopped a lot of people because of this, was you have to open your IRCC portal account. So you have to have your password and the email that you use to apply, or if someone else applied for you, they should give you the email and the password, so that you can log in into your phone or your laptop and show it to them, because this is very important. When I was there, some people were stopped because I think they were applied for by a third party, and they didn't have the email and password. So you can't go past that without having to open your um IRCC portal account. This is JKIA airport. So don't come to don't come to me. You know, someone came to me like on TikTok and was like, you're lying. No one asked you to open the IRCC account. But in my case, I was asked to open that, and so many other people were asked. Like everyone was traveling that day, who was there with me, coming to Canada. They were told to open the portal. I think it's kind of like a new rule. So yeah, and then they ask you the address. So I didn't, it wasn't in my mind, the address. I didn't cram it. Of course I had it in my document, but I didn't cram it. So I removed my invitation letter and gave it out. Then they took a picture of it, because the invitation letter has the address where you're going and the number of the person inviting you. So yeah, those were the questions I was asked at JKIA in Kenya before they let you to go check in. And another question I got was about my luggage. No one asked me about my luggage. I had two huge bags. And a small carry-on. So a lady was asking me if they look at your luggage and they deny you entry because of how big your luggage is. No one asks you. As long as the weight is not over the limit of what you should bring, then it's all good. I think, or you can pay extra for your luggage. No one asks you about your luggage, because that lady was told by someone that if you carry a lot of luggages, they will deny you entry because they will think you will not come back to Kenya. No. What if you change clothes 2 times or 3 times a day? No one asks you about your luggage. As long as if it's overweight, you pay for it. But for me, I had two huge luggages, 23 kgs each, and one carry-on which was 8 kgs. So yeah, let me tell you about the questions of my point of entry. In Canada, they have this self checkout system where you just stand there, scan your passport, they take a picture of you, then you answer the questions. No one questioned me, because again, my flight was almost leaving us. Like, we had delays in Nairobi, we almost missed our flight, and so they were rushing people. So you just fill in very fast. I filled in the questions very fast, and then when I was going to give it to the officer, border patrol officer, he just told me to go. So if I was told, if you don't get a stamp on your passport, that means you have to stay in Canada for not more than 6 months. You have to stay in Canada for less than 6 months. 6 months and below, not more than that. So yeah, so the system, they ask you the questions that a border patrol officer would ask you. So these were reason for traveling. So there's either you choose it, either if you're going to work, if you're going to study, if you're going to be a student, I don't know. Yeah. So you choose whatever that's taking you to Canada. Then you just fill in, you tap and you fill in, then it goes to next question. Are you traveling alone or are you traveling with family? If you're traveling alone, you fill in your name. If you're traveling with family, you put the number, the passport number for all the other people who are traveling, so their name comes up. And they ask you if you've been arrested in your country, then you choose if it's yes or no. And then they ask you how many days are you going to be staying there in Canada. So you again just check your return ticket and calculate the days from the day you arrive in Canada to the day you're leaving. Then you write it's in days. So like for me, I said 5 months, right? 5 months, it's like 150 days, so I filled in that amount of days on the system. Then they ask you, do you have cash of, like, I think I don't remember well. I think 10,000. If you have cash with you of like $10,000, so you just fill in. If you're using credit card, just say no. And then, are you healthy? They ask you if you have healthy or if you have any issues with your health. So it's the best thing to do is to declare everything in a truthful way. Don't lie, because your visa might be cancelled if you try to lie to them. You might think, okay, it's self checkout, I can just say whatever I like. No, you have to be very honest with them, because this is information that goes to the system. They will always have it, so just be truthful and answer all the questions. So they ask you if it's the first time you're visiting Canada, then you say yes. And then they ask you if you're bringing in live animals, if you're bringing in any guns, ammunition, or fireworks. They ask you if you're bringing in any meat or dairy, fruits or vegetables, or items from endangered species. So they ask you all these questions to know. And if you have if you're bringing live animals, if you're bringing firearms, that's when I think you have to go on. They will ask you to talk to a border patrol. But if you say no to all this, if you're not bringing any of this, that everything is simple. You just you give your receipt, the receipt you get after answering all these questions, you give it to the border patrol. They look at it, then they give you a go ahead to go to your gate or to see an officer. So yeah, that's it. Those are the questions I was asked at my point of entry. And yeah, those were the questions. I don't think there's any other question I didn't say. Once you get to a gate and you board your next plane, or if that's your final destination, you just go pick your bags and leave. But if you have connecting flights, you go board the next plane, and then at the your last destination, you just go pick up your bags. That's it. You go out of the airport. That's it. You don't need to go anywhere to the immigration again.